We've had another scorching day here in Hungary and in Budapest. So yesterday we had a bunch of records that were broken. It was 43 degrees here in the capital yesterday. Maybe not so high. Thankfully we weren't here with my family. The good news is that the nuclear power station in Paks continues to work. The levels in the Danube continue to rise, even though there have been more bombs that have been found in the Danube. In fact, in the video yesterday when I showed you the remnants underneath this Scorching heat, the Freedom Bridge, the Green Bridge, there were remnants of the old bridge. Well, guess what? They've just found a bomb down there. So from tomorrow, that entire bridge in the morning is going to be closed to traffic, to people, to the trams, while they work to try and get rid of the bomb in the water. I'm not sure when they're going to do it, but I'm going to go down there in the morning and see if I can perhaps catch them in the act, as it were. Also, a good sign is that our Prime Minister, Peter Magyar, he has literally just announced that from tomorrow, Hungarians no longer need to sort of self-regulate with their use of electricity because apparently everything is okay. So that's another good sign. At the same time, we've had some interesting developments in a town called Kolocha. Now, I don't know if you remember, but when the government introduced this new body that was going to sort of find people who perhaps were misusing public funds, which is a good thing, I said that I think this is going to encourage a snitching culture. And unfortunately, a snitching culture seems to be, it's quite popular because now we have the mayor of a town in Kolocha, and he got on Facebook today, and this is hilarious, and he basically asked his residents, his citizens, to please stop calling us and telling us that your neighbor is using too much water. Okay, just stop. So I think that tells you everything about how keen Hungarians are to interfere in the lives of others. Very funny. The water situation is not too much better, although we have had news that in Austria there have been rains. It has been raining. That's a good sign because eventually that water is going to seep through into the Danube and come down here. And according to the weather forecast, tomorrow on Friday, Budapest and Hungary can expect rain, not everywhere, but at least in some places. So this will go a long way to giving us some relief. Otherwise, we have some bad news coming from Tusek Solnok. This is to do with a Dutch company. The company is called Ocel Hunland Kft., which is owned by Ocel Group in the Netherlands. It has gone bankrupt. So production is completely stopped in this factory. It's a bicycle factory, and 400 people in that factory now are expected to receive their termination notices today. So they're out of a job, 400 people out of a job. I'm not quite sure why this took place. Is it to do with the energy prices? I don't think so. I'm sure this is a longer, bigger term thing. And aside from that news, well, there's been a bit of a scuffle politically between members of Fidesz and László Gajdos. And basically, some people in Fidesz, or some people in opposition, or some people online were saying that it is outrageous that right now, when Hungary is having such a big issue with water, the head of the part of the ministry that deals with water has gone on holiday. Now it turns out that this is effectively fake news. So László Gajdos, he released a message today saying this is outrageous because there's nothing like this has taken place. Fake news is a thing everywhere. Unfortunately, it's also a thing here in Hungary. And last but not least, it's been announced that this Saturday there will be because Saturday actually is a work day here in Hungary. Hungary has these weird things that when there is a public holiday that falls on a day of the week, let's say there is a public holiday on a Tuesday. What is normally done is that holiday on Tuesday is taken. But then they say, well, it's so close to Monday. How about if everyone gets Monday off as well? So the holiday will be, you'll get a very, very long weekend. As a result, to sort of compensate for these sort of fake long weekends where there is a holiday but then there is a plus day in between, the government for ages has done this thing where they say that at some point there will be a Saturday and that Saturday will be a work day. So anyway, this coming Saturday, 2 days' time, is a work day, and in the Parliament they are going to be deciding revealing who the candidates are, and then voting to install the new president of Hungary. Now, I think, as I've told you many times before, I don't really care who the president of Hungary is, because I think it's just an utterly unimportant role. It is a role to do with just meeting and greeting people. You know, restaurants are great. The person who sits you down at the table is not the most important person in the restaurant. And for me, a president, at least here in Hungary, has the same sort of value in the whole, if it was a restaurant type system. That's all for today. Luckily, not a very big news day. Maybe more things will happen tomorrow. Who knows? If you like my stuff, give me a like, give me a share. Thanks.